Well, somebody just committed a crime. When I woke up, I was lying on the sofa.
Where am I?
My head was killing me and my memory was foggy. I felt a sudden pain in my neck. Can't believe you fell for the oldest trick in the book. And you had a magical way to turn your head. I shut up, rubbing my neck. When I looked over the counter, I saw a monster staring back at me. No, it's just Mama, don't be a dick. Took me a few seconds before I realised it was just Mama.
It looks like you're awake now.
As Mama spoke to me, it all came rushing back. I remembered everything. I assume they just used it to run away, and the game needs some red herring characters. Where's Ota?
Ota? The boy I asked to watch the bar?
I'd say he's too old to be called a boy, but yeah.
Is he?
He was already gone when I came back. All I saw was you getting your beauty sleep on the floor.
Damn it, Ota. What are you thinking?
It appears that he took off with Iris.
What were you doing during all this?
Yeah, why didn't you just look behind me?
My power was shut down due to the stun gun. I have rebooted in safe mode and am now operational.
What time is it?
It'll be 3 o'clock soon. In the morning, of course.
Why didn't you wake me up?
I tried. You wouldn't budge. I thought you were passed out drunk, so I left you like that.
But I didn't have a glass in front of me, right?
So you weren't drunk?
Didn't have a single drop.
Oh, I thought you were drinking straight out of the bottle. Just like the old days.
Date, the boss is calling.
How am I gonna report this one?
Date, listen. Stay calm, but this is an emergency. Just now, the killer... Well, just watch the video. I sent the address to Iba.
Iris.
Okay. So, I would have said in the stream before this, I accidentally found out something I didn't want to know, and it's that Iris gets kidnapped. So I'm glad it's reasonably early, and I didn't ruin like a game-ending thing.
That's...
The criminal is streaming this live.
Iba, the source.
Identified. The Okiura Fishery Cold Storage Warehouse, Koto District.
Okiura?
Date, focus. We need to get to the site, now.
I thanked Mama and ran out of marble.
What's our ETA?
Our destination is far from here. 20 minutes at the fastest.
Please, please let me make it in time.
Okay.
That sick bastard.
It's a panda. No, what are those bears called? It's... No! Oh, now I can skip. Polar bear. Oh my word, John. The killer is a polar bear. I'll be honest, I didn't guess that.
Ota.
Stay away from Tessa!
I kept my foot to the gas the whole time. I could feel the sweat on my palms. The engine raised a high-pitched scream, but I could barely hear it. My heartbeat was pounding in my ears, shaking me to the core. How much time had passed? The feeling of time itself had disappeared. Eventually, the car reached a long bridge. Shortly after, the image changed. Oh, that goddamn polar bear's back.
No, it can't be. No. Stop!
Something's weird here. Like a magic trick.
No!
No! Harbour Warehouse District. It's not going to be as presented. It couldn't possibly be. Okay, but you were watching the footage the whole time, right? That's Ota.
Ota.
Did the footage stop? Well, how? He was watching the footage in his webcam eye. Did the footage stop?
There you are. Finally. I was looking all over for you. It's rare to see you down like this, but it's understandable. You blame yourself for this, don't you? Beating yourself up about taking Iris to Marble, and about letting Ota get the upper hand on you. Am I right?
No, I'm totally not replaying the moment again and again in my mind. What are you talking about?
Shall I tell you what Investigation HQ thinks? Ota Matsushita is a criminal stalker who committed murder-suicide. Ota had a selfish love for Iris. He was under the delusion that Iris loved him too. But Iris refused Ota. So Ota decided that he and Iris should be together in the afterlife, killed her, then killed himself.
That's ridiculous. Ota would never kill Iris. And how do you explain the other two murders? Iris's left eye was hollowed out. Just like Renju and Shoko. Those three murders were definitely executed by the same person. The new Cyclops killer. There's no way that's Ota. Too many pieces don't fit. Too many contradictions, like killing Iris.
Such as?
Oda's behavior during the video.
away from Tessa!
Ota showed himself on the stream. If he was gonna kill Iris and then himself, why would he do that? The only reason you would show yourself like that is to prove that you weren't the culprit. Ota and the polar bear on the screen at the same time would prove that they're not the same person. That behavior would be totally unnecessary if he was gonna commit suicide anyway.
Well, maybe he wasn't planning on dying at first. After he killed Iris, he realized that he couldn't live with himself.
So he lies down on the workbench and turns on the ice cutting machine himself? I don't buy it.
Ota had no incentive to kill Renju.
Maybe he was thinking like this. The reason Iris and I can't be together is because her agency prohibits it, making the president, Renju, the ultimate bad guy in his mind.
Mizuki is Ota's close friend. Do you really think Ota would kill his friend's father?
Ota have no incentive to kill Shoko.
Shoko was married to Renju. Maybe he was trying to get at Renju by killing her.
That's a stretch. They've been divorced for years. Ota knows all about it. He wouldn't use Shoko to get to Renju.
What about the polar bear costume?
The culprit was wearing a polar bear costume, probably to hide their identity. But if murder-suicide was the plan, the costume served no purpose.
There are some additional discrepancies. I analyzed the investigation report. Judging by his wound, Ota was stabbed in the side by a kitchen knife or something similar.
Are you sure?
Okay, I mean that improves that something else happened. Also, the idea of Ota being the killer is fucking stupid. So, I know you can't say that in a game. Just be like, yeah, but it's dumb, so it's clearly not that.
I am.
Told the boss what Iba found.
Oh, I know that.
Well?
Ota could have stabbed himself. Maybe he thought it would be a fatal wound, but when it didn't work, he went for the ice-cutting machine.
Then, shouldn't we have recovered the kitchen knife from the scene?
Maybe he threw it in the ocean.
What?
Boss, come on. Ota goes out to the water, stabs himself in the gut, throws the knife over the side, then walks back to the warehouse?
Well, I wasn't being serious. I didn't think Ota was the culprit from the beginning. I was just playing devil's advocate for HQ.
Really?
Yes, really.
Anyway, Ota didn't kill anyone, and he didn't kill himself.
What's oh no, I've only just started Silent Hill, but I'm only going to be playing it on Wednesdays.
Here's what I think happened.
Stay away from Tessa!
Ota knew Iris was kidnapped, so he rushed onto the scene. That's when he saw the culprit wearing the polar bear costume. He tried to fight him off, but ended up being stabbed in the side. He was weakened and losing blood at the culprit's mercy. The culprit forced him into the costume, then under the ice-cutting machine. And then...
Then, who is the culprit?
It's going to be a few more weeks of Silent Hill.
I wish I knew.
We're up to 4 victims. But Ota was a special circumstance. He wasn't specifically targeted by the culprit.
Right. And he was the only one to not have his eye pulled out.
Because he had giant eyes.
So let's focus on the 3 other victims.
Hello, by the way.
Shoko, Renju, and Iris. What connects these 3?
Connections.
If you find a connection between the victims, you find a connection to the culprit. That's the theory of investigation, right?
You think the new Cyclops killer is related to them somehow?
Maybe, maybe not. But it's a good starting point.
Why are we in the interview room having this conversation? The interrogation room. It's reflected in the mirror. Not Ota's mother. Iris's mother, Hitomi?
Hitomi and Renju are definitely linked. They were high school classmates. And she did say that she met Shoko twice. But I can't imagine she would kill Iris in such a gruesome way. No matter what the circumstances were, it seems impossible to me.
Date, you're not supposed to think that way. Oh, I can't be them. They couldn't possibly do it. Momo Kamakura is the only one he'd actually like. As a...
Renju and Shoko were connected to the Kumakuras. But there's no connection to Iris.
Congressman So Sejima.
Renju, Shoko, and So. There is a connection between Renju and Shoko through the Kumakuras. But again, I can't see any clear link to Iris.
Iris could have been at one of the bar things. She gets invited.
I know Renju and Shoko, and I'm connected to Iris, but I have an alibi. Aside from Shoko, there's no way I could have killed any of them. No, now that I think about it, Shoko too. I don't remember killing her.
Yeah, that's pretty important, Daddy, to be honest.
My memories from 6 years ago are missing, but I still have my memory of recent events. And if I start doubting myself now...
Date, I can say without a doubt that there is zero possibility you are the new Cyclops killer. I have been working with you for years. I know better than anyone that you are innocent.
Mizuki?
Mizuki has the strongest connections with all 3 victims. Shoko and Renju were her parents, and she was close friends with Iris. She was good friends with Ota too. But that's why I could never believe Mizuki would kill all 4 of them. Thinking of her as a suspect is ridiculous.
Just boss going, watching me while I'm thinking.
Mayumi had motive for killing Iris and Renju.
Did she?
Mayumi hated Iris, and she didn't think well of Lemnis Gate either. And since Renju is the president...
She wouldn't kill Ota, though.
Anyway, the weak point is Renju's ex-wife, Shoko. I can't imagine why Mayumi would kill her. And above all else, she would never harm her only son, let alone kill him. I thought it over, boss. Of the people I know, I can't peg any of them as the murderer.
And no leads to pursue?
No.
Then there's only one thing you can do. Continue your investigation. Do whatever it takes to get the culprit. To get justice for the victims.
You're right. Got it, boss.
Oh, we have a lot of choice. Well, we're gonna have to tell a couple of people that their children are dead. Hang on, did we definitely recover like Iris's body? Like, I don't. Game's not telling me any information. Place was silent. So quiet I felt like I could hear the floating dust. I stepped inside, I thought it was empty, but I saw a shadow in the corner of my eye. It was Mayumi. Like watching a decaying old tree cling pathetically to the earth. Okay, I just want to check the log. Not the log, I want to check the menu. The file. Actually, let's check the flowchart as well. Oh, so we've started going that way. Zoom in. Didn't want to zoom in all the way. So, yeah. We have 2 points we need to investigate. But it could go very differently. Okay, continue. Collage. I think I know what one of those is. To glue. Oh, collage, sorry. In French. An art form that involves combining various materials such as printed paper, cloth, wires, wood pieces, sand, leaves, etc. Pewter describes dreams as a collage of memories. Sort of reminds me of Mormon bubbles? To tell someone you love what? Tell someone you love to image. Search it. What? I don't know what... Tell someone you love to... image search it. Okay, that's one... Maybe you want to put like a dash. Yes, okay. Sure. Updated. Okay, yeah, negative timies. I know what that is. There's got nothing to do with the thing. It's pewter. Okay, if we look at the persons, there isn't that many people in this game. Like, we're only missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 people, but like, yeah, not loads. Right. Sorry to interrupt. About Ota. You want to talk about it?
This is your fault.
That is not an unreasonable assessment from her.
I heard from the police. Because you didn't take care of Iris. My boy Ota got involved.
Date, I looked into the investigation report. Mayumi confirmed Ota's body early this morning.
So, yeah. Did they actually get Iris's body?
I see.
Because we saw it on camera, but is Iris actually dead or not?
I'm sorry. I want to be alone right now. Did you not hear me? I said leave!
Date, let's go. She is in no state to talk.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Why would we go home? To the Sagan residence. When I visited the Sagan household, I found Hitomi with a hollow look in her eyes. She let me in and asked me to sit on the sofa. I agreed and sat down. But after that, I couldn't say a single word. I mean, she looks just like the previous victims. The heavy silence weighed on both of us. Plant. About Iris.
Iris was my everything. We always went everywhere together.
I mean, that's not true. Like, every single time I met her, you haven't been there, apart from this one time.
Whether it was buying clothes, or going to the movies, or taking a walk, or going shopping at the supermarket. When she was young, she would just hold one of my fingers. Her hand was too small to hold mine.
Yeah, that's how being small works.
And it was 2, then 3. And finally she could hold my hand.
I wouldn't say that out loud, obviously.
But eventually, she left my hands altogether. She started crossing her arms, being independent, even though she needed constant attention growing up.
More about Iris.
Her memories are a part of this room. And always will be. When she was a baby, she fell off that sofa and cried and cried. One day she tore up her picture book all over the floor here. Another time she drew with crayons all over the window.
You can draw on windows with crayons?
She painted my portrait on Mother's Day. Scratches on the floor, chipped plates, burn marks on the table, stains on the cushions. Everything you see. It all holds a memory of her. But why?
About Ota.
Oda was one of my students. I taught him in elementary school. I heard it from the police. Oda tried to help Iris and ended up... I don't know what to say. I have no words.
Can you think of any information?
Hitomi, my entire focus is on this case. Is there anything at all you can tell me?
I don't know if this is important, but...
No, please, tell me.
I may have told you this already. I met Renju's wife Shoko twice before. The first time at the wedding. The second time a month ago. That second time was in the waiting room of the prison.
Prison?
There's an acquaintance of mine from when we were younger. I visit them a few times a year. And by coincidence, I saw Shoko. I don't think she noticed me, but I recognized her as Renju's wife right away. She was there for the same reason I was, to visit one of the inmates.
Oh, I guess we're going to the prison.
Do you know who?
No, I don't.
Who are you
We
visiting?
didn't talk.
Which prison?
The only prison. There's only going to be one prison.
Fuchu Prison, in Tokyo.
Fuchu.
Prison?
That's where 89 is.
I'm sorry to have bothered you. I'll be going now.
She actually gave you quite useful information, but...
I don't know what to do. Thinking about her. Dante, please, you have to catch them. Please. Please.
I will. Trust me.
Okay, I just realised the girl will be at the Date residence. Why can't we go to the prison? We'll go to Marble.
Are you okay, honey?
Huh?
About last night. Well, at 3 in the morning, anyway.
You know about it?
It's on every channel. You have the face of a ghost. Do you want a glass?
I don't need a drink. I need information. Do you have anything?
Well, let's see. I do have... I suppose you could call it intuition.
Tell me.
Information about the incident.
The Kumakuras are involved in this case. Remember what I told you before? That there's a relationship between Ren and the Kumakuras? Shoko also has a relationship with them. You know about her dealings with the Kumakuras, right?
So basically, 2 of the victims are linked to the Kumakuras.
You knew that already.
That must mean they're involved somehow, right?
Not 2, 3.
3? Iris?
No, not that one. The boy. He came here last night?
Ota?
Yes, from Matsushita Diner. He's linked to the Kumakuras as well.
How is Ota related to the Kumakuras?
Have you heard the rumor?
No. Mama told me a similar story to Iba's. About Seijima and Kabasaki district. Oh yeah, I remember that. Basic idea is this. 8 years ago, So sold his land in the Kabasaki district for 3 billion yen. Half a year later, an explosion at the chemical plant caused the land prices to drop drastically, so he bought back the land for 1 billion yen. Almost like he knew beforehand the accident would happen. So, did So blow it up, or conspire to blow it up? No, that wouldn't make sense. So wouldn't gain anything from that. What? No, because he would have gained money. He sold the land and then bought it for cheap, so he gained money from that. He gained a thing from that. He would end up with 29 billion in cash and 1 billion in land to net zero. What? Hang on. No, hang on. What? He sold the land for 30 billion yen. Yes, and he doesn't have the land anymore, but he's got 30 billion yen. He bought it back for 1 billion. He's gained 29 billion yen. What the fuck are you talking about, game? It's not a net zero, it's a net of 29 billion. But there's more to the story. About So in the Kabasaki district.
The Kumakuras own a handful of real estate companies. They of course look legit, but they're Yakuza fronts. I'll call those real estate companies the KE to keep it simple for you. The KE followed in So's footsteps. They bought up land in Kabasaki.
About So in the Kabasaki district.
Now, back to So. Have you heard of the plans for the casino in Kabasaki?
No, I had not heard about them.
So was the one who came up with it.
I was born and raised in Kabasaki. I remember the landscape of my childhood, and I loved it dearly.
I like how obviously evil they make him as well.
But look at Kabasaki now. When I see images of the destruction on television, my heart aches like it's being chopped to pieces. But I promise you, I will revive the Kabasaki district at any cost. Casino Town Kabasaki will give new life to the city.
After that, So moved fast. He submitted the bills he needed to the National Assembly after drumming up support in the right places. The bills passed, and it became an official government initiative.
Decontamination efforts therefore increased at a rapid pace in the Kabasaki district. At the moment, the area is still considered off-limits. However, the air in Kabasaki is currently purified to such an extent that it has no negative effect on the human body.
If the plan goes smoothly, land prices in Kabasaki are going to skyrocket. And all that land is owned by the KE. And by So himself. The land he bought back for 1 billion will be worth 10 times that soon.
He's involved in some shady business.
About So.
This is just another rumor, but the chemical plant exploding was no accident. It was done intentionally.
By So and the Kumakuras, you mean?
But there's no hard evidence of that. It's just gossip. What were we talking about again?
Ota and the Kumakuras.
Oh, right. You know how Matsushita Diner is close to the Kabasaki district?
I didn't know that, no. So it is.
The chemical plant explosion made times hard. Foot traffic went down, sales declined. No wonder it closed down. Ota must hold a grudge. Someone caused that explosion. And if it was intentional, oh, he'd hate them even more. That's how I link Ota to the Kumakuras.
Say goodbye.
Thank you, Mama. I don't know if what you told me will lead to anything, but...
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to waste your time.
No, it was very helpful.
I'm glad I can help, even if it's just a little.
Well then, be seeing you.
Come back anytime.
Right, do we want to go see Mizuki or go see the body? I don't want to go home, so... It takes a while to drive there, let me tell you. I stepped into the cold storage. If the murderer is that fucking cop, I'm gonna be grumpy. The air conditioning wasn't running, but it was still cold. The temperature hadn't raised that much at all. The cold air sunk into my skin. The center of my body was burning hot. You. Any clues?
No, nothing so far.
I'm so suspicious they don't show his face properly. Spectre was doing his duty as usual. Hang on, is he on the list of actual characters? Oh, we haven't saved in ages either. Yeah, inspectors are on the list of characters. And he dislikes people who don't remember his name. So suspicious. He's got skills at pretending to be dead as well. Kamakura Estates, the name Mama gives to the real estate companies under Kamakura umbrella. Kawasaki District, Sejima currently resides in Azabu. However, he is currently not running for office in the Minato District, where Azabu is located, but instead in the Kawasaki District, where he was born and raised. Candidates are allowed to run for any constituent... Ah, that's a word I can't say. Constituency, regardless of where they live. The progress in the investigation.
I checked this place point by point, but didn't find nothing.
Box. Wooden box on the shelf. It's empty. There's a cardboard box on the floor. There's nothing in it.
There are only a few items on the shelf.
Is this warehouse not in use?
Also, why is it so smoky in here? There's nothing particularly suspicious. Forklift B. A forklift. I don't see anything special about it. Bloodstain B. Is this Chris's blood? Or Ota's blood even?
This forklift is old. It does not appear to be functional. It has not been moved in some time.
Overhead crane. Look, hanging from the ceiling crane. Iris and Ota's blood. Iris and Ota were sliced in two by this ice-cutting machine. Iris and Ota.
Iris's estimated time of death and cause of death have been confirmed. The video was not a recording. It was a live stream, filmed in real time.
Which means Iris's time of death is 3:20 a.m.
But you have the body, right? You found a body? Did you find the body? You've got to tell me this game. Why are you not... I'm so suspicious. They're not telling me details. Don't cheat, game. Tell me where Iris did... Okay.
Iris also had her left eye removed.
Like, this is just footage.
And like Renju and Shoko, Iris's left eyeball has not been recovered.
Okay, that implies they do have the body. Like, I just want the game to say, oh yeah, we found the body somewhere near, because obviously it was taken off the ice machine. So it was, where was it put? Because there, you'd need to put the part somewhere. An ice cutting machine.
Right here. Iris and Ota were.
I am sure you are already aware of Ota's time of death.
Just before I arrived. About 3:30 in the morning.
And the cause of death.
Right, about that. Ota had a stab wound from a kitchen knife in his side.
Correct.
What was the exact cause of death? Was it the knife wound, or...?
I cannot determine that. I can conclude that the knife wound was at least close to being fatal. Even if Ota was still alive on the workbench, he was certainly on the verge of death. If he weren't already extremely weak, we would expect to see more signs of struggle.
Ota was trying to help Iris, jumping at the criminal. That led to a scuffle, and Ota ended up with a knife. Okay, so what I think is going on, I think Iris is not dead. Like, I think you don't see her being cut in half. You see blood splatter on the screen, on the camera, and then we don't get to see it. And nobody's told me whether that film continues or not, or whether it was shut down at that point. I think Ota and Iris planned something out. There's some theatricality here, which makes this all deeply suspicious. So, like, I assume, like, Ota, for some reason, Ota agreed to be cut in half after he was going to die anyway, is what I'm getting that feeling. He lost all his power to fight back. He was forcibly put inside the... No, I don't think he was forcibly put inside the costume. I think shenanigans are afoot.
But why? Why did the culprit put the costume on Ota?
Unknown.
Okay. Iris is... Okay, Iris is dead. Okay. Thank you, game, for actually confirming Iris has a dead body, because I don't know where the body would be, because clearly somebody took it off the machine. But that's okay. There are still weird. There's still shenanigans. There's something odd going on here. They're under autopsy. Their bodies aren't here anymore. Right here, Iris and Ota were. Okay. Forklift. A tire on the floor covered with a layer of ice.
A video camera and laptop. This is what the criminal used to stream. All of these items have been bought from pawn shops and thrift stores. It would be difficult to determine a suspect from them. I have logged into the Wi-Fi in this warehouse. Okiura Fishery Co., Ltd. is listed as the owner. However, I found the password written directly on the router. Anyone who saw it could have used it. I have done some research. As the name suggests, the company is owned by the Okiuras, the same Okiuras we know. Renju's father created the company.
Another connection to Renju.
No, actually. Currently, Okiura Fishery has nothing to do with Renju. The company has been managed by office representatives for the past 17 years after Renju's father died. Renju holds no shares and is not involved in the management. In short, Renju did not inherit the company from his father, and it was instead given to other persons.
But it can't be a coincidence.
It certainly is suspicious. Date, we should get moving. Officers from the local jurisdiction are checking the warehouse thoroughly. We will not find anything of importance here.
Yeah, you're right.
You can ask CSI to inform you if they find anything.
All right.
Video camera and laptop used for the stream. Shelves with boxes. Don't see any clues here. Oil drum. An oil drum. Unlikely to be a clue. Mr. Policeman. Heading out. You know, if you find anything, let them know. Then left the warehouse. We have... When I left the warehouse, I saw Pewter. What is he doing here? He walked up to me while I was trying to work it out.
Date, I have to talk to you about something.
Huh?
About the original Cyclops serial killings.
Why this all of a sudden?
Because I want you to solve this case, Mr. Date. I want you to find who did this and bring them to justice. So, if I can help you, even a little...
Why didn't you say anything at Abyss?
The boss was there. I couldn't speak openly in front of her. So, I decided to meet you here.
All right. Let's hear it.
Earlier, I told you that I was completely certain the original Cyclops killer couldn't have committed these crimes. I am absolutely certain the
He did.
original Cyclops
This is a thing
killer
that happened.
could not have committed these.
Yes, I remember.
Let me explain why. I'll start by telling you the identity of the Cyclops killer. Although, it's more accurate to say killers.
More than one?
In the first series of killings, the culprit had an accomplice. One of them was born a murderous psychopath. The other is Rohan Kumakura, the previous chairman of the Kumakuras.
Really?
They each had a role to play. The murderer committed the homicide, and Rohan removed the eyeball.
He committed suicide. Yeah, he's known for his torture technique. And he does organ trading. Okay, fair enough. About Rohan.
18 years ago, Rohan took a woman's eye. She was already dead. He put his finger into her eye socket and gouged it out. The reason why was simple. He was fascinated by women's eyes. Their beauty stimulated his greed and his desire to possess them. He needed to have them, to make them his own. Driven by this instinctive impulse, he took the woman's eye. From then on, he acquired a grotesque obsession with the eyes of dead women. He was very particular about his need that the eye belonged to a deceased woman. But even being the head of a Yakuza gang, there weren't too many opportunities for him to indulge. His deepest, darkest desire went unfulfilled for years. However, he soon met his ideal partner.
Prisoner 89?
The aforementioned psychopath. The Cyclops killer would commit the murder, and Rohan would take the eye. Thus, a mutually beneficial relationship was
But who,
established.
Pewter? Who this be?
This was the origin of the Cyclops serial killings. At about the same time, you were assigned to Abyss.
Box. A wooden box. Container. Stacked containers. Water. The water of Tokyo Bay. Policeman. Another policeman. The barrier. A hologram barrier. We're in the future solving future crimes, don't you know? Warehouse. All in a line. Crane. A crane. Oil drum. There's an oil drum. You know what? been a regular feature of these oil drums, and the game is putting them there and not letting me comment on that. Why did the Cyclops case get classified?
That, I don't know.
The details of the original Cyclops serial killings case have become nebulous over time. Even the official investigation material contains nothing of value. I am unable to draw any conclusions from them.
You really have no idea?
If I did, I would tell you.
Who is the murderous psychopath?
He was born with a brain dysfunction. Due to damage to the posterior pituitary gland, he was unable to properly secrete oxytocin.
Oxytocin is a peptide hormone linked to feelings of love, affection, and trust. It is colloquially referred to as the love hormone. It causes a tranquilizing effect which improves mood and relieves stress. It is normally secreted when the body makes contact with an object of affection, such as an embrace or caress.
I'm sure you know what this implies, but...
Yeah, it implies some pulpy nonsense.
He was unable to feel love in the way that we do. However, he was able to experience a substitute. His brain was wired in such a way that allowed him to feel satisfaction through other means. Due to the unique idiosyncrasies of his brain, he was able to release large amounts of dopamine and endorphins by performing a certain action.
What was it?
Murder.
Dopamine is a hormone linked to the reward system.
I know what
of the
dopamine
brain.
is.
The pleasant feeling attained through accomplishment is dopamine. Endorphins are a kind of brain narcotic. They dull pain and create a feeling of happiness.
Brain narcotic.
He got pleasure from killing people?
It's slightly more complicated than that. Killing people was the only way he could get pleasure. He was 12 when he took his first life. That enlightened him to the pleasure of murder, which he would do again and again.
Summarize for me. Also, you haven't told me who this is.
The original Cyclops killer had an accomplice.
There were 2 Cyclops killers.
And one of them was the former chairman of the Kumakuras, Rohan Kumakura.
Rohan committed suicide by jumping to his death 1 year ago.
That means... Pewter, tell me this. One of the original killers is dead, I know that. But that means one remains. Who is he?
After his 4th murder, he was arrested by the police. They actually picked him up on other charges. But, in any case, he is currently serving a life sentence in Fuchu prison.
It's convenient that.
Fuchu prison?
It's in Tokyo.
Yes.
What's his name?
89.
In prison, he doesn't have a name. He is simply called Number 89.
There we go, the game's caught up with me.
Number 89.
I know who killed Shogun Adami.
So, now you know why I said that. That the original Cyclops killer couldn't have committed these crimes. Because one is dead, and the other is behind bars. Neither of them had the opportunity.
Right, I think I'm just about to let you go. We're not going to go to the headquarters, we'll go to Date Residence next. But I'm going to save my game here so we can travel afterwards. So, I'm going to turn the stream off. Bring up that snail and say, thank you very much for watching. I've been the John Struct. I've been having an AI Somnium Files adventure. I'll see you next time. Thank you. Thank you for watching.